So what is the effect on the actual parameter value in case an exception is raised inside a stored subprogram? At this point, let me talk about the semantics of passing parameters to a subprogram. It can be done in two ways, by reference or by value. When you pass by a reference, then a pointer to the actual parameter is passed on to the formal parameter instead of the actual parameter value. So any modifications done to the value of the formal parameter inside the procedure or the function directly changes the value of the actual parameter. This is generally a faster operation, especially if you are passing around large collections, as it avoids the additional step of copying data first to the formal parameter on the way in and then back to the actual parameter on the way out. By default, the in parameter is passed in the reference mode. The drawback of this approach is that if there is an exception raised inside the procedure or the function, then any changes made to the actual parameter will stay. The other way of passing parameters is by value, where the value of the actual parameter is copied to the formal parameter on the way in and copied back from the formal to the actual parameter on the way out. This is the default mode for the out and the in-out parameter modes. The advantage of this approach is that if there is an error raised inside the subprogram, and if there is no exception handler, or if the exception handler raises it further, the value of the actual parameter stays unaffected. Let us first see the effect of an exception inside a subprogram when the out and in-out parameters are passed in the default copy mode, but we do have an exception handler inside. Here we have the same code snippet, but we have added a number variable called lNumber. In the execution section, we update the employee table and return employee location in the out parameter of pLocation. We assign pStatus a value of 1. In order to create an error situation, we are assigning a value char to the number variable. This will raise numeric or value error, causing the execution to flow to the exception block. Here, errors are printed out, the update is rolled back, and pStatus is assigned a value of 0. After that, the execution resumes normally to the client block, and the values of pLocation and pStatus at this point are copied over to the actual parameters. If this procedure is run using the anonymous block where lLocation is the out parameter and lStatus is the in-out parameter, in the output for lLocation, we would see a value of WA, as even though the update was rolled back, the return value from the update was copied to pLocation, and copying a value to a variable is not rolled back by the rollback statement. lStatus shows a value of 0 which we had assigned in the exception block. So it is important to note that when we are not raising the exception further and it is handled normally, we need to revert back the values of the out and in-out parameters ourselves. We could have also set the value of pLocation to null in our exception block in order to revert the assignment we had made to it inside the procedure. Another approach, which sometimes is better, is to further raise the exception inside the exception handler of the procedure or the function. In this case, Oracle will automatically roll back the values assigned to the out and in-out parameter types. This would also be the case if we did not have an exception handler inside the procedure. This is one of the advantages of having the parameters passed by value, as the calling client would not see the changed values in case of an exception. So, if we run this code snippet again, then update EMP will raise the exception which we are handling inside the exception handler. There, we are raising it again using the raise keyword, which makes it go to the calling client's exception handler section, where printing the value of lLocation will give us the original actual parameter value of CA, and lStatus has the original actual parameter value of -1, as Oracle automatically reverted back the changes to these parameters.